Hey guys, so a couple days ago, I went and saw Peter Rabbit. Actually, I went and saw this on Valentine's Day. I don't know how anybody else spent their day on Valentine's Day. I'm sure most people took their significant other or girlfriend or whatever and took them out to dinner. No, I went and saw fucking Peter Rabbit by myself. Hashtag living the good life. um, Yeah, this is actually the second year in a row I went and saw a kids movie on fucking Valentine's Day. Last year I went and saw Lego Batman movie, and had a fucking blast watching that. So yeah, I went and saw that. I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life? I'm seeing Peter Rabbit on fucking Valentine's Day. It was one of those. Well, it's one of my only days off, so fuck it. I gotta get around to seeing this movie sometime. So Peter Rabbit. This was a movie. I'll be honest, I was not looking forward to going in that much. I was not. The trailers did not catch my eye whatsoever. Nothing about them made me go, "Oh, I gotta see that." That looks like a kids movie. I really want to fucking see. It. It just looked like your generic kids movie that you see come out like seems like every fucking month about a rascal or a rebel or something who's a main character who fights authority. Yada, yada. I don't know. It's like I couldn't give a shit really. It was like I don't care, couldn't care less. Going in, but it's been getting decent reviews even though the relatives of the descendants of the Beatrix Potter, the author of the stories of Peter Rabbit, have come out and said that she'd be rolling in her grave if she knew this fucking existed. Hell, I read the story about how she didn't. She turned down fucking Walt Disney from ever making a Peter Rabbit movie. She was very hesitant about letting anybody turn her stories into a film, and it's like kind of almost like Walt Disney and fucking the girl who did Mary Poppins. The relationship between those two, like it just seems like kind of that kind of about in that same kind of boat as the author of Mary Poppins was. So I was like, well, I'm kind of curious. Because like from what I could tell from the trailers, even from people that had read the original stories, they were kind of saying it didn't look like a very good adaptation of the story. So I was like, well, and, I don't know how well of a adaptation of the stories this movie is. From what I could tell and what I remember of the stories, I don't think it was that great of an adaptation. Although, like I said, I never really grew up on fucking Peter Rabbit like a lot of people did. I knew of the stories, but I never grew up on them as much as a lot of people did. But you know what? I could have actually enjoyed the fuck out of this movie. It's been about a few days since I've seen this movie. And I still, like, more thought, it's one of those movies, like, the more I thought about it, like, I kind of love it. I kind of dug the shit out of this movie. It's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece. It's not, like, going to be the best film of the year. Not even going to be on my top 10 list. I had actual kind of fun going in. I actually had some fun watching this fucking film. There was enough about this movie that kept me amused that I wasn't bored while watching it, and I didn't. By the end of it, I was like, I did not regret watching anything, or did not at all regret watching this fucking movie. Things I really fucking liked. I can name a few. Domhnall Gleeson as McGregor's great nephew was fantastic. He plays that General if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who plays General Hux in the recent Star Wars movies, and he was the lead in Ex Machina. He's like one of those actors that over the last few years, like, he's starting to slowly but surely become one of my favorite actors. And like somebody said, he's awesome in the Star Wars movies. He just chews the scenery up like nothing in the fucking Star Wars movies. And in this, he's doing the exact same fucking thing. Like, he's chewing up scenery. He's just over the fucking top. This wildly crazy OCD-esque person who hates rabbits. He works at Harrods and is wanting to become... When you first get introduced to him, he's a guy who's working at Harrods who wants to be manager but gets turned down and goes fucking ballistic and gets fired, and then finds out he has gotten this land that was owned by his great uncle and it was worth a lot of money, and he wants to try to sell this land. And he's, goddamn, Domhnall Gleeson's fucking hilarious in this movie. He's over the top and fun to watch, and he was one of probably the best parts of this movie. And this movie has a lot of fucking big name actors. Fucking Sam Neill is McGregor in this. I didn't even recognize Sam Neill. That's like they did a great job of like putting a lot of makeup on him that I didn't fucking recognize him. I'd have to fucking watch the movie again. I guarantee you now that I know it's him, I'd be like, holy shit. I was like, that is fucking hilarious that Sam Neill was McGregor. I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, what is like Sam Neill making a comeback between this and The Commuter? I was like, that's great. I love Rose Byrne. She's great as Bee. She's the soft-spoken, gentle person next to McGregor and his great nephew. Peter Rabbit's just, like I said, he's every fucking stereotypical character that you've seen in like kids movies, where he's, like I said, a rebel, a rascal who doesn't listen to authority or doesn't listen to others, doesn't play along with others very well, yada yada yada. Seen it done a million times before. Honestly, like I said, probably the least interesting character was probably Peter Rabbit out of all of them. Like I said, Domhnall Gleeson and them were probably the most interesting characters, which is kind of fucking hilarious, but whatever. I mean, they kept it entertaining like this, and there was never anything that was, the character that was really that fucking boring. Sorry, damn. This movie had a lot of fucking great jokes in this movie that made me laugh really hard while watching it. That kept amusing me throughout this whole fucking thing. One, this movie is fucking morbid as shit. That is one of the reasons why it kept amusing. This movie, I swear to God, this is how the movie opens. Within the first 15 minutes, all this shit happens. So I didn't grow up on the books, so somebody in the fucking comments tell me if this fucking happened in the books or not. If it did, holy shit, I need to start reading more of these books. So I knew, like, McGregor was the villain in the stories and all that stuff like that of Peter Rabbit. I always knew that. Of course I did. Everybody knows about that. And that, like, McGregor or Peter Rabbit will always go into McGregor's garden and try to take all of his food and stuff like that. So, and McGregor was always trying to stop him. Well, in this fucking movie, they explain it during the first 15 minutes of the backstory of Peter Rabbit that McGregor, they explain about where Peter Rabbit's parents are, and the fact that fucking Peter Rabbit's dad was captured and caught by Mr. McGregor and cooked into a fucking pie and eaten. I am not making that shit up. I thought, like, oh, well, maybe they're gonna, like, oh, he's gonna make like, he was never really dead, and he'll pop up at the end of the movie. No, he's dead. He's fucking dead. Like, he is eaten. Like, holy shit. Even Sam Neill at one point mentions, like, I'm gonna eat you, because he like, in the first 15 minutes, he captures Peter Rabbit. And it's like, I'm going to eat you or put you in a pie and eat you just like your dad. And I'm like, damn, movie. And then right after that, McGregor dies. No, I am not making that up. Like, Sam Neill is in the first 15 minutes and then dies of a fucking heart attack trying to fucking kill Peter Rabbit. I am not making this up. And it's like, wow. Like, when that fucking happened, I was like, that just fucking happened. And so, what ends up happening from that point forward is all the rest of the animals, Peter Rabbit and the rest of the animals around this land, decide to fucking just start trashing the McGregor house and celebrating his death. That is fucking hilarious. I was like, that is so morbid and so what the hell? I did not expect that from this fucking movie at all. That was so fucking out of left field, but I was like, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the movie. And it's like, damn, that was so weird. Like I said, there's the whole, it becomes like a fucking movie, like a kid's version of Jigsaw or Saw, where they're setting up these elaborate traps for McGregor's great nephew and like getting him fucking electrocuted and then like trying to fucking literally murder him because he's, okay, this is going to get into one of, I'll talk about this in a second, but they try to fucking literally murder his great nephew by, his great nephew is allergic to blackberries, and they feed him blackberries on purpose, knowing that could kill him, and it's like, wow, this movie is fucking morbid. And of course, I've heard about this weird fucking controversy that's been going on about this movie. You don't know about it. People are bitching about because everybody's got to bitch about something nowadays. About something about the food allergy scene, and like, there's the only thing I can think of is there's a scene where Peter Rabbit, they find out he's allergic to blackberries, and Peter Rabbit's like, who the fuck is allergic to blackberries? What kind of fucking person is this? He's a weakling. And then he like looks, he's like, well, I know I'm gonna have people writing them to me about that now. And he just looks right at the camera and like literally almost winks at the fucking camera after he said that. I was like, that had to be put in there on purpose, just because they knew people would get pissed off about it. And apparently they did. It's so fucking weird. That was a weird scene. But also, jokes that I thought were fucking even funnier, even really funny. My favorite running joke throughout this fucking movie was the rooster. That rooster was hilarious. Every time they would cut to this, okay, there was this rooster who he would come, like, every time the sun would rise, he would start, you would, instead of hearing him saying cock-a-doodle-doo, you would hear what he was actually saying. He was like, oh my god, the sun is up again! Holy crap! What is going on? It's up again! How is this possible? It's like freaking out. Like, it was making me fucking die every time. I couldn't stop laughing. And then he was freaking out because he had like 50 chicks. Or 50 that were his children, and I was laughing my ass off at this. I would love just a fucking movie about that character. That character was pretty fucking funny. Also, like, the movie sets the tone of like the kind of humor it gets in the first like minute or so when it opens up with these birds singing, and I'm like, oh fuck, I did not realize this shit was a musical too. like, oh god, this is gonna be unbearable. And as they're singing, they land on the ground, and mid-song they are just ran right over by Peter fucking Rabbit. That was hilarious. I was like, okay, and then it becomes like a running joke throughout the whole fucking movie where they're trying to break into song, and somebody just runs them over. I was like, that was pretty fucking funny. Like, it worked. It was like, okay, like, this movie doesn't need to be a musical, and I'm glad this movie makes fun of, like, kid movie tropes. It has a tendency of doing that. And, like, doesn't take itself way too fucking seriously, which I kind of liked. It was fine. Like I said, I can see people not liking this because it's probably not a very good adaptation of Peter Rabbit, but me having as low expectations as a lot of people have had, like I had going in, this was actually a lot better than I fucking thought it would be. Okay, this is something that was bugging the shit out of me after I left the movie theater. I do want to talk about this. So, I could not like register this world, this universe that this movie takes place in, because okay, some animals, like, okay, I could not figure out. It's one of those movies that, like, the animals are talking, but when the humans are hearing them half the time, it's just like them talking in their animal talk to each other. Like, rooster cock-a-doodle-doo to hear his cock-a-doodle-doo instead of what he's really saying. But then, like, it just throws that shit right out the window when Peter Rabbit at the end of the movie starts talking to McGregor's great nephew, and he's understanding him. I'm like, so wait a minute, he understands him this whole time, but why is he not be able to hear the rooster talking like he talks normally instead of hearing him say cock-a-doodle-doo? Is there certain animals that he can hear and certain animals he can't? What the hell? Why it can't be here? It can't be here, Peter Rabbit? And if so, why didn't Peter Rabbit just talk to her in the fucking first place? I was starting to think all these fucking questions, and I'm like, why am I really questioning a kid's movie? But, like, it's like, that does kind of drive me nuts, is like, because that makes no fucking sense in the context of this universe, but whatever. Like I said, it's a movie I had fun watching it. It was fine. It was perfectly fine. I recommend it. It's silly. And like, it was a lot better than I fucking expected it to be. Trust me, it was. I've heard a couple other people say the same thing. And like I said, if you go, like me, going in with low expectations, you'll probably like this. As far as trailers, only got one new trailer, and it was fucking Show Dogs. It's a fucking movie. I thought this was a kid's movie trope that died years ago, where it's like talking animals. It's a dog who's a partner of a cop who and he talks, and I forget who the fuck is the voice of the dog, and his partner's fucking Will Arnett. It's like fucking Tequila and Benetti. I've been watching too much Cinema Snob. If it wasn't fucking funny, God, it looks so bad. It's like from the makers of Beverly Hills Chihuahua, the Smurfs, and what the fuck, and something else. And I'm like, that's really your claim to fucking fame? You might as well just kill yourself. Like, that is your fucking claim to fame. Yeah, fuck that. That looked really bad. Like, this is something fucking coming out in 2018. What the fuck? God damn it. Yeah, so that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back probably in the next couple days, probably maybe tomorrow, with Early Man and Black Panther. I'm going to try to go see both in one day. I have a day off tomorrow, and I'll go try to hit 2 movies at one time. I have a gift card, so like my movie pass will only let me see one movie a day. But I also have a gift card, so I can go see Black Panther, which I hear is fucking the greatest thing to ever happen to the cinema or something. So yeah, until then, I'll talk to you guys later.